Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you my Sunday morning update for Week 16 of the fantasy football season. Yes, this is Week 16, so that means it's championship week for most of you out there. Good luck in all of your games this week. We've already had 4 that have been played and some huge fantasy performances in those 4 games. Hopefully, that was a positive for you in all of your championship games. But I'm going to give you some actives and inactives for the early games this week, as well as some news and notes. Here are the actives. I'll get to that right away. Not a whole lot of them to report, but some big names are on this active list for me this week. Allen Robinson, he will play for the Bears. His hamstring injury is good enough for him to be able to play, and he's a great play this week in a favorable matchup. Tyreek Hill as well. He is active. His hamstring injury, same thing as Robinson, is good enough for him to play, and he has a prime matchup as well. Hopefully he gets a full complement of snaps because both these receivers, if they get a lot of work, could post huge numbers in their matchups. Now the inactives for Week 16. We have a few of them to report here. James Robinson, the Jaguars' star running back, he is out this week because of an ankle injury. He will not play. The Browns, they are going to be without their top 4 receivers. Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashard Higgins, and Cardrell Hodge, easy for me to say, are all on the COVID list because they were in close contact with someone who tested positive. They will not play this week. This is a huge loss for Baker Mayfield and that passing game. Look for both the tight ends, Hooper and Njoku, to get a little more work, as well as Kareem Hunt. He could be used as a receiver often. And Marvin Hall, I should say. He probably is the top receiver right now for Cleveland for this week, so he's someone to consider maybe in DFS formats, not so much in your standard leagues. But this is big news. The Browns will be without their top 4 receivers. They should employ a run-heavy approach with both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. All right, another inactive player, Mark Ingram. He's a healthy scratch once again for the second straight week. He will not play. Get him out of your lineups if he's in there for some reason. Golden Tate of the Giants. He is out because of a calf injury he suffered in practice this week. He will not play, leaving them a little short at receiver. And Julio Jones is out another week of action because of his hamstring ailment. He will not play. So Russell Gage, bump him up a little bit in your rankings this week. I think he's a solid play, especially with the way he's played the last few weeks. And now some news and notes. Most of this is for the afternoon games, since the inactives and actives aren't out just yet. But here's some things we do know. Alex Smith is not expected to start today. He's not quite ready because of his calf injury. Numerous people are reporting this. Dwayne Haskins is expected to start once again for Washington. Also in Washington, Terry McLaurin, he is not expected to play today because of an ankle injury. He will miss the game. That's a huge loss for their passing game and fantasy teams as well, because McLaurin has been a great player. But Washington will get back running back Antonio Gibson this week. He is expected to return from his turf toe injury. He will return to the starting lineup, and he could get a big workload in his first game back because of McLaurin missing, as well as Haskins starting at quarterback for Washington. The Cowboys, they're expected to get Ezekiel Elliott back this week. He is expected to return to the starting lineup, could get a big workload after sitting out last week to get a little healthier. Tony Pollard played well in his place last week, but both these guys are a little bit shaky fantasy plays because they could split work. You don't know how healthy Elliott is as well. It's really a tough call for fantasy teams. For me, I like Elliott more than Pollard in this matchup because I think his touchdown potential is a little higher. It's a really tough call, though. Both these backs have their limitations because of Elliott returning in Week 16. And my last news and note is Keenan Allen is expected to be a game-time decision because of his hamstring injury. He's really pushing to play. There were reports that Allen was going to miss the game for sure, but now those reports have changed a little bit. He is going to be a true game-time decision. He wants to play. It'll be interesting to see what the Chargers do with him in the afternoon, and also a tough call for fantasy teams because last week Allen played, but he was limited in the game and didn't produce much. So it's going to be hard to use him because of that, but also it's hard not to use him because of his high ceiling. Really a tough call for fantasy teams here. Okay, that's my Sunday morning update for Week 16. Good luck in all those championship games. I hope you come out on top on the winning side of things and have a lot of success in Week 16. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.